It was one of those, like, there was a lot of crap that went on preseason while you were going through your stuff. Do you feel you've sort of take any happiness in sort of silencing people that question maybe your commitment to this team?
Um, if you got to question that, that's something to do with you rather than me. But I can't really concern myself with that. In the midst of what we're doing, um, you know, I think the focus just got to be on the team, and whatever it's made up of what happened in the past or what was going on. I care a lot about this team, and I'm going to do whatever's possible for this team.
You talked about trying to win one game. That being said, how do you try to stay in that mindset knowing that, look, you got more games behind you than in front of you, right? So you don't have any more bites to be out there.
Yeah, take the biggest bite now, I think just really study and understand that I'm trying to prep for one game, and just put the most amount of effort I can in that game.
Can you tell the young guys that, hey, these opportunities aren't guaranteed. You got to make the most of it when you have it.
I think we've been open about that. From a young guy to an old guy, you don't know what your career is going to entail, and you got to make the most out of every opportunity you get.
Cam Thomas been pretty public about riding you about your age from time to time, having some fun with it. TJ called you 45 after the game the other night. Does this kind of stuff drive you at all?
Those two are getting up there in age too. Let's not act like they're just some spring chickens. But
is there a prove everybody wrong element to your play?
Yeah. It's everybody versus me. That's just how I am. I'm always looking for an extra notch, an extra gear, and it's funny that my teammates and coaches poking pride, and they're on the other side of it.
Cam, what was it like tush pushing your little brother into the end zone?
First time, I was kind of pissed off that I let the group down. We've been working on it. But hey, I get to push my brother, and everybody gets to cheer me on for it. And happily we got in the end zone the third time.
Mike said Connor had to relay his message through him to get to you that first time around. What was that like?
Yeah, he said it under his breath, and then he was all pissy because of it, and rightfully so. I didn't execute as well. But we got it done the second and third time, and if we have to rely on it a little bit more, I'll be ready this time.
Yeah, you said that it's an everybody versus you mentality that you personally have. Do you think the locker room has that mentality too, going in to the playoffs? Like you said, you didn't think people thought that this team would be here, would be in this position. Is that something that fuels you guys?
I think we have a lot of outcasts, a lot of people that trigger people for right or wrong reasons, and we're a group that backs against the wall. We like our chances because we're all together, and we thrive off of people either counting us out, people not believing in us, and us trying to play our best ball.
You've been around this team a long time. Does it feel like a different level of belief and confidence this year opposed to maybe last year, a couple years before?
I don't know. I think we have a really tight-knit group. There are a lot of things guys do to just incorporate everybody, and I'm really appreciative of that. That speaks to the leadership around this group. That speaks to the buy-in from everybody, and I'm just thankful for that. There's one or two ways this thing could go at different moments in the year, and each step of the way, guys have always chose to be a part of it and separate.
When you talk about leadership, I mean, you've been here for a long time, the coach has been here for a long time, but what's it like when you bring in a guy like Aaron, who has that experience? Like, what have you seen from him in terms of winning over, I don't know what that's the right word, but like winning over the locker room and then becoming one of the guys that can lead from the front?
The first day he came in, he talked about he wants to serve the group. And I think that spoke a lot to his mindset approaching this. And it's one thing to say with words. It's another thing to, take part in everything we do to get to know players offensively, defensively, special teams. even the little, Herbig and him go back and forth from time to time, but there's a competition that breeds just togetherness amongst everybody in our group. I think offensively and defensively, this is probably the closest we've been in a really long time. O-line and D-line asking questions, just trying to better everybody in this group, and it's great. Guys really stepping up, guys getting better.
What do Herbig and Rogers call each other about?
The most random stuff, but
There's probably not two more unlike guys.
Yeah, and it takes on a life of its own. Herbig thinks he's getting under his skin, and Aaron's doing the same thing back. But I can't share all the conversations because they're pretty wild. But just know, I think. No, I can't share that. I'm not going down that path, but it's fun to watch. One thing I love is Aaron's game for competition in every part of this, and we've been going at it since training camp. And he's a different guy every day, but everybody's trying to get better.
Cam, when Mike was giving you your flowers the other day, he mentioned your mentors, Keith, Casey, and Aaron. They have something that you're chasing.
Yeah.
How much? How important is it for you to, do you think your Steelers career would be complete without the thing that they have that
Ask me at a different time. In the midst of it all, chasing something they have. But we'll see once the career ends.
Two more for him.
When it comes to Boz, what gives you the confidence that even after he misses few kicks, he might make 15 or 20 more?
Because we're going to block our ass off and give him the time he deserves. I think it sucks that you put it all on a kicker. We got to block a lot better, and tight ends, tackles, wings, we all got to do our job a little bit better, and make sure he gets the protection he needs.
You and Mike Tomlin have kind of been joining the hip for a long time here.
Mm-hmm.
You have that tradition of walking off the field together after games. How did that start? And were you cool with Rodgers joining, or did you feel like when they brought Connor home from the hospital, you realized you were going to have to share your toys with him?
There's a lot to unpack there. First of all, Connor didn't really play with toys, first of all. Only thing Connor knew was ball. Like, that was his first word, and that's all he lived by. But bringing Rodgers into the fold, after we got that first win in New York, me and Mike T had talked about it. He was like, let's bring this old man along with us. And, we wanted to give him an experience of what it's like to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. And welcome into that, and show them that, we're with you along this ride, this journey. You don't have to walk alone. And I think that's our leadership. Like, we have a bunch of leaders, but it's not one guy doing it by itself. It's a group of guys. It's a team that really gets the job done. And me and Mike T have been doing it for a while. It's what we ask of each other. But it's also like we get to stare in the face of it.
Seems like you guys have faced a lot of quarterbacks that can do those types of things, hurt you by using their legs to create more space. What do you guys have to watch to contain that while also maintaining all the other responsibilities?
Just do our job. Everybody got a job responsibility. Everybody got a key. And just being able to be gap sound and trust the guy that's next to you to do their job, and we'll be able to contain it.
How do you turn over a team that doesn't turn it over?
You gotta search the ball. You gotta do all the little things right, and hopefully they press. And when they press, we can make them pay. But for us to do that, it starts with stopping the run. You gotta stop the run, obviously. And then when it's a chance to pass, we gotta give a chance for our D-line to get home. So that means we gotta be tight on coverages. If we're in zone, we gotta be real aware of who's where and what they're doing. It's a lot of keys that you got to have for this type of offense, but everybody understands the game plan. Everybody understands their keys.
Is one of the things that works for you guys Sunday night was that even when Henry had a couple of big plays. You guys stayed where you were supposed to do. No one overreacted or got out of their gaps.
Yeah, I think especially like the first run of the game, you know, kind of shocked everybody, opened everybody's eyes. Like, hey, we gotta be on our stuff. Everybody got to do their job. And from that point on, everybody was just locked in. And, you know, they made plays, obviously. So, but I think everybody was just so in tune to like just doing their job, play after play, just knowing that it's gonna be one play at a time.
Stopping the run was understandably priority 1 and 2 against the Ravens, and you gave up some big passes. Are those two? Is that a correlation? Is that cause and effect?
Yeah, I think so. But I think at the end of the day, you know, we kind of put ourselves in a difficult situation. You know, trying to contain the run. And sometimes, you know, it's gonna be like that. Sometimes you're gonna give up a pass, and which is unfortunate because, you know, it's the same as a run getting out for a good bit of yardage. So it definitely sucks, and you definitely don't want that to happen. But it is how that offense operates with Lamar and Derek back there.
So in that regard, it's correctable.
It definitely is.
So Hugh, how do you kind of describe the vibe of this team right now? It seems like you guys are pretty loose. Is that something that helps you going into a game like this?
I think everybody just being them. I don't think we're stressed like we were, or pressing like we were earlier in the season. I think everybody just understands like, hey, this is what we do. Just going out there playing free, playing our type of football, trusting the man next to you and just doing your job. It's that simple.
Does that mean that there isn't maybe the hanging over the streak of playoff losses? I mean, Mike's said that like that's his story, that's not your story. Is that something that weighs on you guys or that enters your mind at all ahead of this game?
Nah, we could honestly care less. Like half of the team wasn't even here, you know, for all that time. And this is my second year, so it's my second playoff game here. I'm just worried about trying to beat the Houston Texans. I could care less about a playoff record. And obviously it sucks that, you know, it's been a drought, but we're looking to change that.
C.J. Stroud has been really efficient when not under pressure, but when he's under pressure, he's 5 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. What do you guys have to do to get pressure against this team that's been very good at protecting their quarterback?
Yeah, we got to trust the D-line up front to be able to make plays. You know, if we do blitz, then everybody got to be on time. And then we got to be real responsible in coverage. Just knowing, like I said, knowing where the guys are, knowing what our keys are, and being able to play football and trust our D-line to get home. It's a lot of stuff that goes into it when you game planning, knowing that if he understands where you're blitzing from, he's able to drift away real well, be able to have a good touch on the ball. So it's definitely difficult. CJ's a great quarterback, but we just got to be on our P's and Q's. Everybody doing their job and doing it at a high level.
What was your reaction to the Harbaugh era ending?
Yeah, it sucks. You know, I got a lot of love for Harbs. He was always in my corner when I was over there, when I was going through my tough time my first 2 years there. And it sucks because I know what type of person he is, I know what type of coach he is, and I know that he was going to do everything in his power to get his team back on point. So it definitely sucks. But at the end of the day, you know, I know how that organization is ran, and they want the best of the best every single day, every single time they line up. So it's probably what they felt was best at the time, or at this time, and we can see that now. So.
James Ferrier once said it took him 2-3 years to actually get comfortable. He would never admit it when he was uncomfortable in this position. Yeah. How about you? You're at the end of 2 years now. Are you feeling comfortable, or have you been comfortable for a while?
I think I've been more comfortable this year. You know, it's still a lot of getting used to. It's always new calls that we're putting in here. So it's just a point of me still getting comfortable. But I mean, I'm year 6 in. I just gotta go play football. I just gotta go be myself. I think I've been putting too much stress on myself to be able to go out there and try to do too much. I just gotta go do what I do at a high level, get to the ball, make those plays, make big plays, and just be me.
How much is it going to help you having this one at home?
Yeah, it's definitely going to help if the weather starts cooperating and getting a little warm. But that's a good team. I'm pretty sure that they could care less about the weather. But being at home, you know, it's going to be an environment, especially a home playoff game on a Monday night. You know, the vibes are going to be high. The fans are going to be loud. Our team's going to be ready and rocking, so I can't wait.
Trust where it needs to be, field defensively?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like everyone on our defense trusts each other, and so to be a great defense, you know, you have to trust the guy beside you. So I feel like everyone in our unit does, and so whenever you have that trust, you know, guys are able to play free and you know, be themselves, and you're able to play together as a team. And so I just feel like that trust has only just continued to rise throughout the year for each guy. And so, like I said, I just think we've been playing some good ball recently. Obviously not perfect. There's a lot of areas we can be better in, but we're taking steps forward.
Alex, does it make any impression on you at all when you get ready for a game and you hear people analyzing it and say, boy, this team's got the best 2 edge rushers going, and they're talking about the team they're going to play?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just been emphasized, that we got to be the best edge group in the stadium this weekend. That's what it's got to be.
What do the Texans do to protect C.J. Stroud so well to keep him clean? When he is clean, he's very efficient. When he's not clean, that's when he makes most of his mistakes.
Yeah, I think they do a good job of moving around in the pocket, whether that's play action or misdirection passes, boots. They do that to complement the run game really well. So, he's a really good quarterback, a lot of respect for him. And so they definitely do a lot to keep him clean there. So we know that we're going to have to devise a plan to get after him. And so we just got to get after him from the jump.
How do you counter a team that uses the boots to combine, like, hey, we're trying to fake you one way to make you look the other way, and then, minding that with the run and the chance of a deep pass?
Yeah, obviously, having the right scheme in place. And so I think, we're going to have a good plan for that. But I think it just comes to stopping the run first. Ultimately, we got to take their running game away and just make them one-dimensional.
Alex, what's it like having TJ back?
It's awesome. Just seeing his energy and how excited he was to be back last week was awesome. And so when we got that pick, it was just awesome to see him back making plays. And so, like I said, he's our captain, he's our leader, so it's awesome to have him back for sure.
Alex, does it feel different than last year at playoff time?
Yeah, I mean, I think just, going into these playoffs, it does. Obviously, we won the division. We have a home game, and so we've been playing, overall good ball recently, and so winning 5 of the past 6 or 4 of the past 6 or whatever. So I just we've been playing some good ball. Obviously not perfect, but we've been playing good ball going into these playoffs, and so we just got to capitalize on that and continue to do that.
And how much is it going to help having this one at home?
It's going to be awesome. I mean, I think TJ talked about it. I think that was the loudest I've heard Steeler Nation at home since I've been here, and the atmosphere is crazy, so I know it's going to be crazy again come Monday night, and we're going to need it. It's a big game, so I know Steeler Nation is going to show out.
How big is that for you as an edge guy, the home?
Yes, it's awesome.
Edge,
I think
them going silent.
Yeah, silent's awesome. I think just as an edge rusher, you're able to get better jumps off the ball. Not often do teams usually go on like the 4th head bob or whatever. Sometimes they go on the 3rd, but not really like the 4th or whatnot. So we know that with them having to go on silent, we can get a jump on that ball. And so just as loud as the crowd was on Sunday, I know they're going to be even louder on Monday, and I know that's just going to cause them troubles. But as edge guys, I definitely feel it gives us an advantage to be able to get up the rock fast.
I mean, that's not something people just talk about. It's a real.
Yeah, no, I know that's we studied a lot. We study those things, and so that's what ultimately to get to the quarterback, to affect the quarterback, you got to have a good get off. So I think that's just the key for us, is studying that and making sure we can lock in on that.
Chris, after the game, you were shown talking to Tyler. Have you ever been in that situation? Did anybody ever take you under the wing like that? What was that like?
Obviously I've been in every situation in this league possible. Goods, bads, we fail, and when we fail, it's in the public eye for everybody to see. So I just want to kind of just run over to him and just let him know. I mean, a kick is a kick. Got to move past it, and this is going to better him for the future.
Did you know him at all, or is that more just you in the moment?
No, I don't know too much about him. I talked to him quite a bit when we were in Baltimore a month or 2 prior. Talked to him quite a bit pregame. He's a good dude, very faith-driven dude. So, I have no reservations about him moving past this and becoming a better kicker for it.
He's a rookie too. I would say he's a rookie too. How important was it to go over to give him that message as just a young guy in this league, knowing that he's still, hopefully has a whole career in front of him?
Yeah, I don't know if it's too much about being a rookie who's going to play more of a role into it. I mean, anybody can go through it. I just kind of wanted to give him that, from someone who's been there. There's always a light at the end of the tunnel type thing, and it's kind of. He knows this, but it's up to him, and he just got to move on, and it's about the next kick.
Chris, you guys were almost automatic before the last 3 games. What's the confidence level right now in protect, snap, hold, kick?
I'm always confident in everything. I'm on the bad end of some kicks right now, and that's just 11 years into it. I'm going to be on the bad end of some kicks, but that never wavers in my confidence in myself or the snap or the hold or anything. It's just some go in, some don't, and obviously you feel down about the ones that don't, but you got to move on to the next one.
Yeah, to that point, Chris, what do you do to flush a bad kick?
I mean, you never ride the highs, you never get too low. I mean, you never want to go too low and it affects the next kick. So it's just, ready to get out there Monday night.
That extra point that you missed, was it blocked? What kind of happened on that? I think it went down the box score as blocked. What did you see?
Honestly, in the moment, I don't know. I don't watch film anyway, and everybody, cracks jokes about that. But how I hit it felt really good. Obviously, it took the path that it did, and they're calling it a tip. But I mean, I have no idea. You can't.
No, we just need a block.
You can't tell. You can't tell on film whether it's tipped or whether it's just a shank kick. But at the end of the day, whether it's a block or not, it's on me. I got to put it in, and we'll move past it.
Do you feel like you're going through some struggles this year, or is it more just some fluky things that happened, whether it was the Dublin game or the slip against Cleveland? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I'm hitting the ball really well. Some of them are going in, some of them aren't. There's definitely some weird kicks that are happening this year, but I mean, it's just part of the game. Everybody goes through it, and just keep going.
There have been some data that shows that Acrisure is one of the toughest places to kick. Is that something that you've experienced, and does it give you an edge maybe when you're going against another kicker because you have so many reps in the stadium?
I don't pay too much attention to it. I mean, I take every kick for what it is. I don't think about the history of the stadium or anything like that. I mean, you need every kick, so I just kind of play it as that kick and then move on to the next one.
Any extra excitement for a playoff game, and especially one against the Texans?
Well, I mean, there's definitely excitement for a home playoff game, and so that's a very big, for this city. But I mean, it's just another game, another kick to me.